Hello everybody, this is Zoe from No Safer Place. Now, one thing I don't think I've ever really spoke about on my YouTube is films. Now, I'm such a massive film watcher, I absolutely love them, and recently I've conquered my fear of going to the cinema. I have always hated the cinema, it has always terrified me and has done for maybe the past 6-7 years, so I've missed so many amazing opportunities at the cinema. I've also missed out on events that PR companies have invited me to because I've always been so scared about being in that enclosed space. So in the past few months I have really conquered that. We started off slowly, so I was going maybe once a month and it was at a really quiet time, so maybe like 9:30, 10 in the morning, which I know is super early, especially on a weekend, but I just wanted to ease myself into it. And then recently I went to a screen in the evening at 8:30. It was extremely busy and I'm so proud I did it. So because of that, I have bought an unlimited Cineworld card, which means that I can go to as many films as I want to in the month for £17.90 I think it is, or £17.80. That's why I've come up with a segment that I'm going to do at the end of every month, a bit like a wrap up which I do for books, but this time it's going to be for films and it's going to be called Film Favourites. Now, I'm not sure how long this segment will last because I'm not sure if it's something that you guys are interested in, but I managed to go to the cinema 3 times last month. So let's get talking about the films I went to see. The first one that I went to see was Mission Impossible Fallout. I was really skeptical about this film, I have to admit. I've seen all the previous Mission Impossible films, but when they announced this one, I kind of felt like, ugh, another one. I don't think we really need another one. I wasn't really happy about Henry Cavill being cast as a villain. I think once someone's been cast as iconic as Superman, you're only ever going to see him as Superman. Even though I started liking Henry Cavill in The Tudors, as soon as he was Superman, I never see him as anything else now. You can try to disguise him with the moustache, but that's still Superman. It's just another form of Clark Kent disguise. So yeah, I walked in and I really didn't have high hopes for it. But I was so wrong. I absolutely loved this film. I actually would go as far to say it's possibly my favourite Mission Impossible. I think with films like Mission Impossible, they've got better over the years because the moments that make films like this are the special effects and the stunts and just the way things are presented. And obviously as time's gone on, everything in that kind of area has got so much better, so everything just seems much more believable. I know those films aren't really supposed to be believable, but everything looks so good now, it's just amazing. And as for Henry Cavill being the villain, he shocked me. For the first kind of hour, I was really sitting there like, okay, Superman, when's your cape gonna come out? But by the end, I was utterly obsessed with him. I couldn't hate him because, you know, it's Henry Cavill, but I think he was perfectly cast for that role. I actually fell a little bit in love with Tom Cruise in this film as well. I've never ever liked Tom Cruise, even in the Mission Impossible films, but I don't know, he just seemed a bit more vulnerable, more likeable in this one. One thing I didn't like about the film was that it was very, very long. Now, what you'll find out about me in this segment is I really hate long films. If I feel like there's been moments that have been dragged out when they could have been shorter, I will moan about it. I think that's why horrors are my favourite genre, because they are always short. There's not many horrors that are over an hour and a half. If they are, I usually don't like them. It, for example. But yeah, Mission Impossible exceeded my expectations and more. There were a lot of comedic moments in there which I wasn't expecting. I just think the whole cast of that movie is perfect. So yeah, if you haven't seen that, go and check it out. Also, if you haven't seen any of the previous ones, it doesn't really matter too much because quite a lot of it is recapped at the moments where necessary. Okay, so the second film I went to see was The Meg. Now, I went to see this with my 4-year-old nephew because he is obsessed with sharks. And I mean full on obsessed. I mean, this little guy, when the shark is approaching the shore and about to attack the people, he is full on sitting there going and I'm just looking at him like, okay, calm down. I'm gonna look like the crazy one with the crazy kid. But yeah, if you don't know much about the Meg, it is pretty much Jaws, but with a bigger shark, more modern. And there's more of a purpose to it, I guess. It's not just a shark showing up and attacking. It's more, they're trying to discover more under the ocean. So I guess I liked that there was more of a storyline, because I did assume it was just going to be a shark and that would kind of be the whole story. But the fact that there was a story as to why the shark was discovered, and then there was a proper reason as to how the shark escaped from this haven that he hadn't been able to escape from before. Really enjoyed that. The one criticism I had for this film was it took a very, very long time to get to the main part of the film. I mean, I think I was sitting there for an hour before we even saw the shark properly. Now, when you've got a 4-year-old nephew in tow and all he wants to do is see the shark, and he's sitting there saying, "Where's the shark? I'm bored. Can we go now? I just want to see the shark." It was quite frustrating. I think maybe if I'd have been on my own, I probably would have enjoyed that build up more and enjoyed that atmosphere more, but I think it was too long. That could have easily been cut down and we still would have got the same feel for the shark. But when it was finally revealed, it was awesome. Obviously, it's never going to compare to Jaws in the fact that Jaws is probably the most iconic shark film we will ever have, a bit like a Jurassic Park with dinosaurs. But as shark films go, it is one of the best we've had for a long time. I mean, in a time where we have Ghost Shark and Sharknado, this is a hell of a lot better than those. The acting was absolutely fantastic. There was one scene in it where I actually cried, and I wasn't expecting that at all. That's how great the acting was. I have never really liked Jason Statham in anything I've seen him in, but in this I thought he was absolutely fantastic. I really felt myself warming to him, and although it's the same kind of action figure role that he plays, I felt this role was really different because he had a much more vulnerable side to him, and that's where I think his acting was spot on, because I've never seen that side of him before in really anything he's done. But yeah, if you like shark films, definitely go and see that. And then the third film I went to see, which is by far the best film of the three, possibly the best film I've seen all year, and that is Searching. Now, I got to see Searching on the 25th of August when the previews started, and it's out in cinemas nationwide now. But I wasn't really sure what I was expecting. I knew that it had been a winner at the Sundance Festival, and I knew the main guy in it, John Cho, who I absolutely loved in The Exorcist and know he's a fantastic actor. But I didn't really know much about the storyline apart from that it was about a dad and his daughter had gone missing. Now, I absolutely love thrillers, but I went in thinking it would be a good film, but I came away thinking it was a sensational film. So as I say, the premise is a dad that wakes up one day and finds that his daughter's gone missing. As he's trying to figure out where she's gone, or if she's been taken, if she's run away, he starts to find out that maybe he didn't really know his daughter very well at all. He starts to find out things that point in the direction that maybe she did run away, or that she was caught up in some really dark things like drugs and laundering money, and he kind of just feels at a loss. Now, I'm not going to say more than that about the plot because I think that's something you need to uncover on your own and make your own decisions from. I didn't guess the ending at all. I didn't have any suspicion as to who the real person was involved. I was completely wrong in that aspect. But I think the best thing about this film is that it is so original. Everything about this film is done via technology. So everything you see is either emails, on Facebook, through videos, through FaceTime, phone calls, just every little piece of media, especially ones that you can find on a Mac. That's how this whole film is portrayed. Now, I know it does sound quite annoying because when it started, I did think at first, oh, I'm actually going to hate this. I'm not going to be able to sit through an hour and a half of this. But you get used to it so quickly, and because it's such an original way of presenting things, it's very easy to get caught up in it. And I think it adds a certain rawness to the film because even though obviously it is edited and scripted, it doesn't feel like it because of the way it's presented. It's kind of like a YouTube video. Like, you look now and you don't realise that I've been filming this for maybe half an hour and you'll only see about 10 minutes of it. It doesn't seem edited or scripted, but it is, and that is kind of the impression I get from this film. And I just came away feeling like that film had almost changed me. That's just what an effect this film has on you. I was sobbing at the end. The ending is just beautiful, and one that I wasn't expecting either. I can totally see why this film won awards, and again, the acting in this is possibly the best of the three. Just feels so real. That is the one word I would use to describe this film: real. Everything about it, the news footage, the coverage, it doesn't feel like this has been made for a film. I felt like I've just switched on the TV and turned on BBC News and this was what I was watching. So if you like thrillers, I would definitely recommend that one. And that is it for my film favourites this month. I don't know whether to add films that I've seen online or films that I've watched on Netflix, because I have also enjoyed To All the Boys I've Loved Before this month. So if you'd like me to speak about those as well, just let me know in the comments below, because I'm not sure what you guys are after. Let me know what films you've been enjoying this month, because I would love to chat all things films with you guys. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. Let me know what you would like to see more of on my channel, and I hope to see you all again soon. Thank you. Bye.